Next thought, a video that makes you see this world differently. How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Next Thought. In this video, I'm going to talk about how I save time. As we know, everybody got 24 hours. While some people can achieve a lot of things in a day, while some people are always complaining that they have very little time a day. And therefore, in this video, I would like to share some of my personal techniques on how to save time, and hopefully this video can help you. The first point is your meal time. As we know, meals are always important for us: breakfast, lunch, and supper. However, in most of the cases, our lunch and supper can take a long time for us. Since there is a huge queue, and after queue, you always need to find the tables. And therefore, here are some of my personal advices. Usually, the peak time for lunch is at 12 at noon, while for supper is around 6 p.m. Therefore, if you can just be there like half an hour earlier, then there's very little people there. And therefore, we can save a lot of time by not taking the long queue and also finding the tables. On the other hand, if you're going out, sometimes it's kind of hard for you to be there in prior of the peak time. And therefore, for usually what I did is I would just call the restaurant, like to book a reservation, for example, 6 or 7 p.m. This is quite free. You don't have to pay any charge for that, and also it's just a phone call. It's very convenient. Therefore, in my opinion, as long as you can make your meal time half an hour earlier, you can easily save half an hour a day. The second point is I would try to avoid the free lunch. As we know, there is no free lunch in this world at all. So here are some cases. For example, in the society, there are a lot of people they're just asking to fill a questionnaire, and as long as you finish it, you can have a lucky draw. In campus, the same thing. Questionnaires, surveys, free notebooks, free ice creams, free snacks, free goodie bags. While for me, usually I just don't want to waste my time by taking a long queue or spending a lot of time, like half an hour to fill in a survey. I just don't want to do that. However, here's the case. Usually in the campus, you can see there is a long queue, a lot of students. Sometimes there is like 100-meter queue. People, students love queuing to just get something free, but they just forget that the most precious thing for themselves is their time. Time is the most precious thing. And for me, I just don't like wasting my time on any those kind of free stuff. The third point is I get very little distraction, especially from the social media. For me, in my cell phone, I don't have Weibo, I don't have Instagram. I do have Facebook, but I just hardly open that because I was in the United States for a while and I just registered that just for convenience to communicate with the local friends. On the other hand, I'm also not very interested in the entertainment circle. I believe nowadays a lot of people, especially teenagers, they really love to see those kind of gossips. For example, this story just broke out with his girlfriend, etc. But for me, I would rather to spend this time on other stock market related news. I want to know like what's going on the society, what are the new technology emerged, and what are the future, what are the great opportunities that I can seize. Here's the case. Usually when some of my friends, when they're talking some gossip in the entertainment circle to me, I just haven't heard about it and I'm just not very interested in that. However, when I'm talking some new technology or some company, most of them just have never even heard about the company before. I'm not saying which is good or wrong, but these are all based on our interests. But obviously, our interests are different. But here's the thing, you have to think about it. So you can know as many gossips, as many news as possible. You can know star A, B, C, and D and what's happening on them. However, can these be transmitted or transferred into any true value on yourself? Whether you can gain some practical knowledge, whether this can help you find a good job, whether this can help you make a good investment. I believe no. However, for other kind of news related to the companies, stock market, technology, that can bring you a lot of information and especially for your bright future. And it also can somehow help you make good investments. For example, I know this stock, I know what this company is doing, therefore I will just invest it. And therefore in this point, I not only save a lot of time, but also to make a lot of good investments and gain a lot of practical knowledge for myself, which is really good in the future. And the last point is the transportation. For me, I'm really not a person who like to spend a lot of time on the transportation. So right now in Singapore, it is quarantine and some gym has already been opened. So here's the thing, during my home, there is not a gym. So the nearest gym should take like around 20-minute bus to there. For me, I really want to have the gym membership, but after trade-off, since right now I'm working from home, I just don't want to spend 40 minutes on the way to just have the gym to work out. I just don't think it's worth it. And therefore, I would rather to run downstairs. And hopefully after the quarantine, I will just go back to the gym. On the other hand, I know a lot of people, they really love MRT. MRT basically is the subway in Singapore. So people would just like spend time on that. But for me, I would usually just take a taxi. So by taking a taxi, usually there are two really important benefits for me. The first is of course time. So usually if you take the MRT, it would take like 1.5 hours. But by taking a taxi, you usually just spend to half an hour. So you can save 1 hour. On the other hand, by taking a taxi, since it will pick you up and pick you down on your destination, and therefore you don't have to walk anymore. So that can save a lot of energy. Time and energy is very important for me, since I have to always keep myself focused. And here's a very simple calculation for me. For example, if I take taxi, usually it's just half an hour, so it can help me save 1 hour. But for my salary, definitely higher than $20 per hour. Therefore, I would rather to spend this kind of money to just save my time and energy. So these all 4 points are just for me. I'm not sure whether you got any other suggestions or your experience on how to save time. Therefore, please leave it in the comments below whether you have anything you would like to comment or suggest. Besides, before you leave, please leave a thumb up button to this video and also subscribe my channel if you haven't done so. This can really help me to build my channel in the future. Thanks for liking it, subscribe, and join it. See you next time.